Showtime. All right, everybody, how we doing? It's Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Lions Talk Live coming at you. You got myself, Dan the Hitman Thornton, and you got joining us once again, the size, Tony Libretto. Coming all in here to try to help us out, make sure that we get this going. We're going to have a simulation for all the rounds today. Try to go through all the mock drafts as far as each team, what they're going to do, what they're going to take. We're going to make the picks. We're going to ask you guys to jump in with some thoughts, see what you can do to help us out. But whatever it is, you guys come in, offer your thoughts. So, Tony, let's get this thing going. Oh, real quick, before I forget, don't forget Wednesday. We've got the live broadcast at Stadium Drive Liquor. Excuse me. 6 to 7 o'clock. We're going to do the pre-draft setup for everybody. So feel free to tune in, or if you're in the greater Kalamazoo area, feel free to stop on in and maybe even say hi. We'll try to get you on the air. One last note, the day of the draft, we are going to broadcast the first round. I do want to let everybody know due to I've got a interview for something, a job I'm after, a coaching job in my personal life that starts at 7 p.m. It should be done and back by the 8 o'clock start for the draft, but I may just be a moment or two late. So just a little heads up. All right, Tone, let's not waste anybody's time anymore. Let's get after this thing. Oh, wait, real quick, right before kickoff, Kip Bayless has made it just in time.
Just in time.
All right, so Tony Libretto, you got the first pick in all the NFL draft. What are you going to do with it?
Well, let me tell you, Dano, we've had a long time to think about this since Carolina traded up for number one. I think it's going to be the easy choice. And this is who I think they're going to pick, not who I think is the best pick or whatever else. So I think they're going to take Bryce Young.
All right. So Tony wastes no time selecting for the Carolina Panthers. In fact, Roger Goodell is probably going to find his team some draft capital for making the pick too fast. All right. We got trade offers. We're not going to do trades. We're just going to move on to the next one. We do have for you Kip Bayless at number 2. You got the Houston Texans. Where are you going with this pick?
All the speculation. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. I think I'm going to go with the second best quarterback in this draft, C.J. Stroud.
All right. Now, why Stroud, Skip?
To me, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? All the talks of lately of his low scoring IQ and this and that, but to me, he's better than Will Levis. I just think C.J. Stroud played in a way better division, kind of proved himself. It was just, to me, it's a no-brainer pick over Will Levis, especially with them having that other first-round pick. They can pair it with something else, so maybe you go offensive weapon and get their quarterback. So I think number 2 is just kind of where they need. They don't have a quarterback right now. Just kind of an easy pick for me.
Okay. We're going to move on to number 3. You guys watch it on the live stream. Who do you think Arizona should take at number 3? Now, we're not going to add in any kind of trades. It's just too hard to factor in everything in the amount of time we've got. Do you guys have any suggestions for Arizona at 3? Go ahead and put it in the comment section now. I'll give you 10 seconds. If not, I guess I'm going to make the selection. It's probably not going to be one Lions fans want to hear. All right, so moving on, we're going to take Will the Thrill Anderson Jr., the Cardinals. While they've got a ton of linebackers already, I think it's just too much value there. We might have a problem with maybe I didn't select the Raiders, so maybe the computer will have to automatically draft for them. But it is what it is. So, yeah, I think Will Anderson just going to add a lot of speed, rush for them. I think him along with Simmons, the safety/converted linebacker, gives them a lot of flexibility and blitz packages. Makes a lot of sense for me. All right. We're going to go to Tone. You got the Colts. Who are you taking? Yep.
The Colts cannot keep relying on aging quarterbacks.
So they
got to make a move here. What's that?
You're not being drafted by the Colts is what we're saying?
I am not going to be drafted by the Colts. I am
breaking news.
Aging quarterback. Breaking news for everyone. So I think, and I don't think they're going to take the guy that needs to sit a year. So I think they're going to take Will Levis.
Will Levis coming on down. Let me ask you, Tone.
Yeah.
You got AR-15, Anthony Richardson. You got Will Levis. What was what made you pick Levis over Richardson? If you could, got any real burning reasons?
I think he's more ready to play right away. Whether that, I know he has mechanical issues he's got to work on, but AR-15 I think is a work in progress. You don't take him to start game one of his rookie year. So I think they're going to take Will Levis and roll with it.
Okay. All right. We're going to put him up on the board. All right. Kip Bayless, Lions fans everywhere are watching you and calling your name if you make the wrong pick here. So what do you think the Seattle Boltergeists are going to do with this?
I think, to me, here's the thing. I'm going to go with an offensive tackle. I think they go OT. I don't necessarily think they need Jalen Carter. I think some of the prospects, I think he scares some of these teams right now with what happened. I think they need an offensive tackle, both that run game with Kenneth Walker, project Geno Smith. So I think they're going to go OT. I think they probably take Paris Johnson. That's who I'd go with.
Okay, Paris Johnson coming off the board. Let's go ahead and slap him up there. And I do apologize to everybody. It looks like, I forgot to plug in the Raiders, so they're going to make an automatic pick.
Can I sell my pick? I said the wrong one.
I can't change it at this point. It's on the board.
No worries.
The card is in. Sorry about that, man.
No, you're all right.
All right. Lions fans everywhere, I get the news with Jameson Williams. Probably doesn't help some things when it comes to Carter. But here we are. We're at pick 6. And you got a person in need, one of the best players, if not arguably the best football talent. We're led to believe from listening to Brad Holmes and Campbell this week about the interviews with Carter that he kind of impressed them. They feel better about him now than they did that prior to that interview. So based on that, a position need, great player, and did well in the interview, I think the Lions are going to have to take Jalen Carter. Tony, what are your thoughts on that?
If it falls to if he falls to 6, we have to take him. He's my favorite player in the draft, other than Will Anderson. I'll say that because I saw him do some interviews last week, and that kid really impressed me. But he's not there, so we take the most talented guy, and it just happens to be probably our biggest need. So we take Jalen Carter, and he creates havoc. There's no way they can double team everybody on the edge with Jalen Carter in the middle.
Kip, what do you think about Carter going to Detroit, or would you have passed?
No, I absolutely take him. It's a no-brainer. To me, Tone kind of touched on it. Look, I know the kid's got problems. I know his pro day was kind of a mess. You got to think this kid is coming off probably one of the most traumatic things he's ever experienced in his probably life. Of course, the tape's not going to look good, but if you go back and watch him at Georgia, the guy was a beast. The guy disrupted plays. There's always going to be that work ethic of he took some time off or he didn't play fully. But I'm telling you, if you put this man in the right regime, I think if you put him with Dan Campbell in this regime, you put him in the middle with Hutchinson and Houston, and then you add Levi, and then you add McNeil, that line is going to be dangerous, and it's going to run the NFC North for a while. He's just a big body up front, and you need him with Hutch on the other side. It's only going to make our players better, and I think it's a no-brainer. Unless Will Anderson's there, you draft Jalen Carter. It's a no-brainer to me.
Okay, I'm going to move on. The computer did pick for Arizona. They took Devin Weatherspoon. So now we're going to move to you, Tone. You're at number 8. You got the Atlanta Falcons. What do you think the Falcons are going to do based on what's on the board here?
I think they have needs all around. So I don't know if they can take best player available, who is Tyree Wilson at this point. But they also have they have holes everywhere, really. So I think they're going to take Christian Gonzalez from Oregon, the cornerback.
What is it about him that draws you into Gonzalez over some of the other players available at the cornerback spot?
Well, he's obviously the best corner available since Devin Witherspoon's gone. they took Okudah. They gave up a 5th-round pick for Okudah, but he's a big question mark. Christian Gonzalez, I think, is not a question mark. So they can compete on that one side. I know they have the other corner. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. If anyone knows that, the other corner for Atlanta, throw me a bone. But I think I don't think they took Okudah with the hopes that he would be a CB1. So they still need that.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the next pick. Now we've got the Chicago Bears. Kip Bayless, where are you thinking the Bears are going to go with this?
This should be a no-brainer for if there's any Bear fans in here, but it's got to be Peter Skorzanski. Justin Fields got murdered. He accounted for, I think 25 or 35 touchdowns last year by himself between passing and rushing. They got to protect their future quarterback. And this is the only way you do it. You take one of the best OTs in the draft. So that 9th pick from them trading from 1 to 9 kind of helped them out with this draft pick, I think. And I still think they need to fill a lot more needs than this, but it gets them to that step to competing in the NFC North in years to come. So,
okay, good thinking there. All right, Saj, you're up at number 10. What do you think Philadelphia is going to do to try to help themselves get back to the Super Bowl?
I thought it was your turn.
Oh, my bad. All right.
I can do it if you want.
No, I got it, man. I got it.
All right.
They did lose a lot in free agency, especially on the defensive side. So I think they're going to be the beneficiaries of just the run of players, especially quarterbacks. So at 10, I'm going to have them take Wilson, the outstanding and mammoth-sized defensive end. He can play a little inside on certain downs. He can play outside on most downs. But you've got a real good talent there, and one that I think is extreme value at number 10. So now we'll go to the Sarge at number 11.
All right. Now here, they got Tennessee Titans on the clock. So they do have a guy in place, Tannehill, and they do still need to look in the future. So I think this is a perfect spot for AR-15 to go.
Tony, as we put Anthony Richardson over to Tennessee, what do you think is the projection for this kid to develop and become the starter in Tennessee? We looking at 1 year, 2 year, 3 years? What are your thoughts?
Tennessee's in a tough place. They're starting a decline, but they can still produce. It's a weak division over there. Jaguars came out of nowhere, even won a playoff game last year. But that's not saying that they're just a runaway favorite. And Tennessee was just barely out of the playoffs. They still have, they still got the best running back in the NFL, even though he's, some people think he might be declining. He's still no one still wants to tackle that guy. King Henry is King Henry still. With a guy like Tannehill that's still there, he's not going anywhere. They're not, unless some crazy thing happens over the rest of the offseason where he gets traded or something. Tannehill's still starting. That way Anthony Richardson can be the future for that franchise. And, obviously they get 5 years with him in the first round. So they can set him for a year, still have him for 5 or 4 years after that to play.
Okay, now let's move on to the Texans. They've got their second first-round pick. Kip, what do you got for us?
So this could be an interesting one. They can go both ways, but I think they kind of pair the Ohio State teammates here, and I think they take Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think, to me, he's probably one of the best wide receivers in the draft. And if you pair him with C.J. Stroud right away, the chemistry's there. So, yeah, I just think they go 1-2 punch there and kind of get their wide receiving. Who knows what they're going to do with Brandon Cooks. Right. So it kind of covers that aspect too. So.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move on now to the Jets. I think we're all going to go with the assumption, at least right now, that Aaron Rodgers is going to the Jets and not the 49ers. I'm still on the mindset that the 49ers could be in play, but not going to worry about that. We're going to worry about what is, and I think if Rodgers does go there, irregardless, I think you got Broderick Jones coming off the boards at 13 to help solidify that line for whoever is going to be under center for the Jets, Jets. All right, moving on to 14 now. We've got New England and the Sarge. Sarge, what do you got for us?
I got them. They're going to go They're going to go edge rusher, I think. Pair him up with that, Matthew Judon on one side. They're going to go Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith it is. All right. What is it about Smith that you like?
He's a monster. I think he had a 4.38 or 4.39 combine run. He's just one of those freak athletes. I think he's going to, with Judon, taking him under his wing, their defense just improved tremendously with this guy. Raw talent. He didn't even, funny thing, the last 2 years in Georgia, he wasn't even like one of their standout players, because they had so many good defensive players, but he's such a freak that I think someone like, going to New England where Belichick is and Judon, they're really going to be able to mold that guy into a great athlete there.
Okay. Well said, sir. Well said. All right, Kip, we're going to put you up there with Green Bay.
So obviously we know Aaron Rodgers is gone. They just lost Robert Tonyan. I think they're going to take the tight end out of Notre Dame. Jordan Love's going to need some weapons. I think they add some of that offense. I think they take Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame.
All right. What do you know about that kid? What do you like about him?
I don't know too much about him. I know from his draft or his days at the combine, he was probably one of the best tight ends in there. Me personally, I like Darnell Washington. I think he's probably one of the best, but I just think for that offense and what they bring, I think he'd probably be the best fit. Maybe someone that's still kind of wanted to, he's a well-established at Notre Dame. So he's a big guy, big body. Jordan Love, hopefully can fit right in with him, but we'll see. They've lost some pieces. So.
Okay. We're going to move on to Washington here, and I'm probably going to, upset some people with this pick. But I look at Washington, I see what they have. I see some of the things they need, and what they definitely need is a quarterback. I don't think they're going to go one way or the other this year, but, I don't see them, at least in this simulator, trading up. We're not allowing that. So trying to build on what is their strengths. Their strengths are currently that defense. They're going to have to get a quarterback at some point, but because Myles Murphy is still on the board, I think it's just too rich for them to pass. So I'm going to have them take Myles Murphy here and then move a couple of passes here with trade offers. But Tony got the Steelers. Steelers, a team on the rise, much like the Lions towards the end of last year, finished strong. What do you think they're going to do here?
Well, they did just lose a corner, right? Because we got them. So I think they're going to take the hometown pick here and go Joey Porter Jr.
Joey Porter's son is coming home.
Yeah.
All right. What is it? You've watched this kid a little bit. Obviously, the Lions have had interest in Porter Jr. What do you think?
He's powerful. He's big. He loves to get his hands on the receivers, and he's got the lineage alone gives him a couple of bumps on that, because I'm sure his dad's on him every day, because Joey Porter Sr. was a monster in the league. So definitely he's going to be able to go to Pittsburgh, and he could be the best corner in this draft, in my opinion.
Okay. Kip, for the second time in this mock simulation, you can control the Lions' fate. So mess up, and you might have everybody coming after you.
I think you got to go with the obvious pick here, Bijan Robinson. To me, Bijan just changes everything for this Lions offense. You just don't know the long stretch what you're going to get out of Swift with his injury history. I think Montgomery's going to be your detailed back for a while. Swift, I think, with J-Mo going down, could play a huge factor in playing outside with as a wide receiver a little bit, and then you could throw Montgomery in the backfield. So if for whatever reason that Swift goes down, you probably got the next Kenneth Walker of this year's draft. He was a beast at Texas. Anybody that watched it, you heard his name. Right. Last year it was him and Kenneth Walker 1-2 punch. He just changes the offense for the future. I mean, this guy could come in and play immediately if need be. And with our old line, you could put any running back there and they're probably going to succeed. So, I mean, you got to go with him.
Okay, Tone, you've watched this kid. We've all talked about it through the different Lions Talk Live shows. What do you think of the potential of the Lions getting him at 18?
I think if he falls that far, it's got to be a no-brainer. In the way we've set this up, he obviously fell that far. I don't think very many teams in front of Detroit for the 18th pick, other than Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is probably one of the teams that could take him, even at number 10. Other than that, I don't know if any other teams really need a running back. I say need. Maybe the Commanders. Just a couple picks in front of that, but
Sure.
Other than that, I think it could be very likely that he falls that far. And if he does, I mean, we're ready to win now, right? And running backs got about 4 or 5 years in this league, it seems like, of elite play. Some of them are underlying that they're a little bit longer than that, but if we have him and he makes a difference, we can use Swift as a third down receiving back only, which is probably, for his fragility in the league the last few years, that's probably what he's best at, even if we just split him out to the slot or something. Okay. So taking Robinson and having him 1-2 punch with Montgomery, I think would be the offense would be almost unstoppable,
Right. All right, we'll get moving back to the draft here. Okay, we got 19. We got the Bucs. I think they're going to go offensive line, whoever they're going to have at quarterback. And obviously, we know that what's his name? The former Browns quarterback who went to L.A., Baker Mayfield. Thank you. Yeah. He's the quarterback, at least for today.
Yeah.
But either way, they're building long-term and they're rebuilt. So Darnell Wright's going to go to them, one of the better offensive linemen still on the board. All right, Tone, we're going to have you go with Seattle at 20. What do you got?
Let's see. I already forgot who they took at number 5. Who'd they take back there?
At 5, we got Paris Johnson Jr.
So they fixed their offensive line with that one, huh?
Yep.
I think they're going to go a little off. I'm going to go. Let's see. They probably could still use some more defense. So let's take Deonte Banks, corner from Maryland.
All right, so let me go get him. Bada bing, there we go. All right, Kip, you're in my former favorite team before the Lions when I was about 4 years old. You got the Superchargers at 21. What you got?
I'm not familiar with what they kind of need, but I've just been kind of seeing now that Dalton Kincaid, I think they go tight end here. Dalton Kincaid's probably next behind Matthew Meyer in the tight end. He played at Utah. He was a huge piece for that offense. Yep. To me, I think if the Lions can snag this guy late, he's going to be a huge addition. I think he's like 6'5", like 240. This guy is an absolute just stud. He's got sure hands. He doesn't have the fastest 40, but, I mean, it's a sure-handed tight end unless we can get Darnell. But, I mean, Dalton Kincaid right here for them in that offense with the 2 wide receivers they got. I always forget their names. One's always injured, all that. But
Allen and Williams.
Yes, yeah. Allen and Williams, and then Herbert. I mean, because I think they lost their tight end, if I'm not mistaken. I think he left, so this kind of fills that hole.
Okay, nice logic there. All right, moving on to Baltimore at 22. I think we all know the defense is starting to age a little bit, even though they did get Kyle Hamilton last year at safety. Mm-hmm. So wide receiver Addison doesn't seem to make sense, or especially with the signing of OBJ recently. I think they're going to probably look to address the defense up front. So Lucas Van Ness going to Baltimore to help restore the roar to that D. All right, Tone, you got the most hated team in all the NFC outside of Green Bay. You got the Vikings. What do you got going to the Vikings?
They are going to take Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker, I like that pick there. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What do you think? I know Hooker's injured. He's going to need some time to recover. What do you think? How long does your boy Kirk Cousins stick around?
Well, obviously he'll be there this year. And then it just goes how well Hendon Hooker can heal up. He's older, I get that, but I think Kirk Cousins went to the Vikings when he was 26 or 27. Obviously, that was with a couple years in the league already experience. But Hendon Hooker's mature. He can take over right away. A lot of people have him rated as the third best quarterback behind Bryce and CJ Stroud. So a lot of people, in the NFL, the analysts have him rated higher than Will Levis and AR-15. So taking him here, it's an easy, safe pick for them. They got someone that they can rely on after Kirk Cousins, because his bank account is getting fat. So they're probably not going to keep him after this year.
Okay, we're going to move on to 24 now in the Jaguars. Kip, what do you got for us?
I think with them losing a offensive lineman, I think they go Anton Harrison here. Just kind of give that quarterback a little more assurance. So I think they just take a safe pick here, beef that offensive line up, kind of help them with the run game a little bit too. So,
okay, good thinking. All right, I'm going to take the Giants here and try to speed this up a little bit. I think they need help at the corner spot. So Ringo comes to town. Ringo, I get he's under a little bit of fire. He was talked about, at the very end of the NFL season as potentially a top 5 pick. He slid down the board quite a bit. They play some man, but mostly zone over for the G-men. He's going to fit that better than he would coming to Detroit and playing all man-to-man virtually. So, all right, Tone, you got the Cowboys, 26.
Man, I keep getting all the teams I hate. I think they're going to replace Ezekiel Elliott with Jahmyr Gibbs.
All right, Gibbs. All right, pulling him up now. Going off the board early. I know a lot of Lions fans wanted that kid, but he's not going to be there. And besides, we probably don't need him at this point. Kip, you got Buffaloes.
Tone took the pick right out of me. I think the Bills, they need a running back, but I think they go Darnell Washington here.
Darnell Washington. Help me out. What position?
Tight end.
Just making sure. Okay. There we go. All right. We're going to take the Bengals here. And I think, like a lot of teams, you want to put pressure on people. They need somebody coming off the edge more. They need somebody coming off the inside. So I'm going to have them go with Isaiah Foskey. I'm going to kill that name every time. But anyways. All right. Trying to speed it up here so we can get back to the Lions. Tone, you got the Saints at 29.
They keep hurt. They're hurting for wide receivers, I think. So I think they're going to take Quentin Johnson.
Quentin Johnson, he went from being potentially top 10 to now falling all the way down to the latter part of the round. All right, Kip, you're at 30.
Eagles losing some defensive tackles. I think they go Brian Breesy here. They need to kind of replace some of that firepower they lost to free agency. So I think they take him. Okay.
Not a bad pick. Another guy that was talked about potentially being top 10, but he is in recent weeks and months slid down the board a little bit. The Chiefs still got to work on that D. So trying to have some versatility. They like to use their safeties, much like we do, a weak side backer, etc. So I think Brian Branch is coming off the board. You're going to get pretty good value if you go by Mel Kiper's charts there. So going to get to round 2. We'll do round 2, and then we'll probably call it a day. So with that being said, Tone, you're going to kick it off here.
Pittsburgh, they are ecstatic that Kalijah Kancey's still on the board, and they're taking him.
I'd say, yeah, that's pick the Lions fans probably mostly across the board would like, but we got the Carter instead. All right, 33. Kip, you're up.
This is going to be if they're here and Zay Flowers is there, I think they go Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is an underrated wide receiver in this draft, probably if not one of the top 3 in the draft. So I think they add another firepower and go with them.
Okay. That means the Cardinals are up. I'm up picking. You know what? They need some stuff to make that entire team go. It's not going to be just one guy for him, but Jordan Addison has somehow slipped in the second round. I just think he's not going to be there very long. Tone, you got the Kulturgeists. What do you got at 35?
I think they're also going wide receiver, and Josh Downs sounds good to me here.
All right. Going downtown with Josh Downs. All right. LA's filling in. They're taking Maisie Smith from Michigan, and then we've got Kip, you got Seattle again.
Seattle again. Give me Cam Smith. I think they continue their firepower of defensive backs that they drafted. I think he'd fit in right here and kind of be that second or third D back for him back there. So,
okay, All right, we got the Panthers on the board. You know, they're working on things. They're trying to get something established down there. They've got some parts, but I think they're going to have to go with some value there, and that value is going to be on the offensive line. Going to get Jones. I really liked him. I was hoping he'd make it to Detroit, but that's not going to happen. Now we've got the Saints on the board. Tone, what do you got going to New Orleans?
I think they have to replace Davenport, right? So I'm going to go and I'm going to destroy this guy's name. Sorry ahead of time, but add about it. The guy from Northwestern. Double A.
All right, Kip Bayless, 41 is yours, sir.
Will McDonald. Give him a defensive tackle. Or
Will
edge.
McDonald. Okay.
Yep.
Got him. There we go. All right. Whew. I'm going to take the first pick here for the Jets. You know what? I'm going to go for the Jets. Kind of underrated, maybe a little bit early, but I really like Zach Corbenet. I think he's, in my opinion, he's the best overall back besides the top two in Gibbs and then Robinson. He does some things really well. He's powerful. He's not quite as shifty, but man, he can hammer people. Mm-hmm. All right, Tone, you got the next one for the Jets, Jets.
Whew. I think they're going to keep stocking up on weapons. So let's go with Hyatt, the wide receiver from Tennessee.
All right, let me pull him up here. Wide receiver, Tennessee, Hyatt, coming off the board. All right, we kill these trade offers, and then Kip, you're up.
Emmanuel Forbes to the Falcons. I think they continue to build that cornerback core. So I think they take Emmanuel Forbes here.
That kid can fly too. He is fast. Mm-hmm. All right, so we got the Tone. You've got the Packers. What do you got going to the Packers?
Let's see. Gonna need some time on this one. Trying to think of who. Well, what's his name? Bakhtiari is kind of a question mark. So let's give him Osiris Torrance.
I hate you.
I know. I hate the Packers. That's what they would do to us.
That's what they would do. But yeah, another kid I wanted to really slip to Detroit. All right, Kip. New England still looking for the next Tom Brady. What do you got going on here?
God, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do at who knows if their quarterback's going to stay or if they're going to trade him. I think they're going to go with a guard, though. I think they for sure need a guard. So I think I'm going to give them – I'll give them to Steve Avila.
Steve Avila it is. He's another good one. Massive kid. Really got some size. All right, Washington looking to pound on people. You know, they try to help out the offense a little bit, try to help out the defense some. But I think they're going to go back over to, guard here. Oop. Guess he's already off the board. My apologies on that one. But there he is right there. Bada bing. John Michael Schmitz. Like him. He's good. He can play center and guard. Move him around. He's got the mobility and the power. All right. We're back to Detroit finally after a little bit of time. Tone, you got him at 48. Tell us what you got the Lions going after here.
Well, I'm torn because I really like Jack Campbell here. I thought he would be great for this pick. I didn't expect Drew Sanders to still be available. So, I'm going to go with who I think is going to be there still and go with Jack Campbell here.
All right, Jack Campbell is coming to Detroit. I think a lot of Lions fans are reminiscent of him being the next Chris Spielman.
It's a monster. All right.
Kip, you got this time Tony doesn't get the Steelers. You do.
I think, you got to go with Drew Sanders here if he's there. I mean, this guy outside is probably behind Jack Campbell's the second best linebacker in the draft. So I think you got to go with him.
Okay. I'm going to take over the Bucs here, and I'm going to have them go Cedric Tillman just because I think they are going to work on the offense. They still got some good pieces on that D. It is starting to get a little bit up there in age, but, so is that offense. And we all saw what little that offense did a year ago. All right, Miami's on the board. Tone, what do you got going to the Fins?
They need an offensive line, right? Tua needs to stop getting concussed every week. Cody Mauch? Let's go with him. Cody Mauch.
All right. We're going to take Old Code off the board. There we go. Got him going. And then Seattle once again. What do you got for us, Kip?
Oh, man. What do they need? They've already got a tackle. They've got Trenton Simpson. They need a linebacker.
All right. Trenton Simpson, not a bad pick. All right. We got the Bears on the board. And Tone, you are apparently the GM for the Bears. What are you doing here?
What? Pull up the wide receivers. Marvin Mims, that's the one.
Marvin Mims it is. Marvin Mims coming on down. There we go. And then we've got you, Kip, with once again the Boltergeists.
I think they need defensive back help. DJ Turner. I think DJ Turner was really fast in the draft or the combine. I would really hope he falls to the line somewhere deep, but if he's there, I think you take him.
Okay, nothing wrong with that pick. You know, the Lions are, I'm sure we all know, in a little bit of a pickle after the results of this week. You know, I'm probably pushing a little bit here what I think they're going to have to do. But while I personally think this kid is off the charts good, just needs a little bit more development. It might be a little early for him to come here, but A.T. Perry, if you do not know who this guy is, I would highly encourage you to go take a peek at him. 6 foot, they got him at 6'3", but I think he's closer to 6'5". You know, he's got the speed at 4.43 size. I mean, he's not the, heaviest guy, but he can hit that weight room the next couple of years. I think you've got a real steal there and somebody that can come in and work the sidelines down the field for Detroit. All right, we'll keep on going here. Tone, you're with the Jaguars.
They're going to go with Tajay Spears, the running back from Tulane.
Running back Tulane, Tajay Spears. All right. Am I missing him here?
Where?
There he is. Bada bing. All right. Got him off the board. A little bit of an upset according to the rankings, but I like it. G-Men. Kip, what do you think the G's are going to do?
I think they're going to go with Joe Tippmann from Wisconsin. They need to give Daniel Jones some help back there. You got kind of blitzed a little bit. And if Saquon's not coming back, they're definitely going to need some help. So,
okay. Well, we all know Dallas loves the D. You got some good D up on the board here. I think they're going to go with White over Osam. Oh, boy, I'm going to kill his name. I apologize about that. But Felix. So, anyways, we got Keelan White coming on down to the Dallas, and that's going to put Tone back on the board, 59 Buffalo.
I think they still need a running back as well, right?
They do.
So pull those guys up, and so I can get his name right. I still don't know how to say it right, but a chain, the Texas A&M running back,
Devin Shane.
A Shane, yeah.
Yep. All right, Kip, you got the Bengals. What do you got at 60?
Tight end Luke Musgrave fits right into Joe Burrow's offense. Nice little pickup for them. That deadly offense, you just add a sure end and tight end, it just makes that offense more deadly.
And you kind of took my thunder, but no, not that there's a shortage of tight ends, because I do think that's pretty much what I was going to have the Bears go. But instead, they'll probably have to go with somebody a little bit different here, a little bit craft on the board. You got to get Justin Fields some weapons. You got to give him some protection. You worked on it earlier in this draft with some protection. So it is what it is, but you got to get somebody that he can get rid of the ball quick against. The Lions are going to be built around putting a ton of pressure on him and not letting him scramble. So in my opinion, they're going to have to make sure that he can get 3-step drops and get it out. All right, enough of that. Tone, you got the Eagles. What do you got?
I think they're going to take the safety from Penn State, Brown.
Okay, safety, Penn State, Brown. Let me get on down to Sidney Brown.
That's the one from Illinois, but sure.
My bad. I apologize.
Nope, it's all right.
Still a good pick.
Right.
Yeah.
All
I'm not saying it's not.
Sorry about that all. All right, we got Kansas City up. Kip, you got the final pick of this mock draft.
I think they go edge BJ Orji or whatever his name is. I forget where he plays out of.
I think he was taken by one of the auto picks.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I still think they're going to go edge. A guy I fell in love with. I hope he's there. Andre Carter out of Army. I don't know if you guys watch. I don't know if you guys watch tape on this man, but oh my God, this guy can play linebacker. This guy can play edge. And if he falls to the Lions, I feel like he hasn't been on a lot of draft boards, but this guy is a stud. And I know he plays at Army, so I don't know the situation with what's going to happen. I don't know how that whole situation works with them coming to the NFL, but he's got some serious talent.
Okay. So that's going to end it for the mock draft, but a couple things to throw at you guys. Yes, we're going to do a Lions Talk Live Wednesday, 6 to 7 p.m. If you're in the greater Kalamazoo area, it's going to be at the Stadium Drive Liquor Store. That's actually on Stadium Drive, right next to 131 and 94. Come on down. The Sarge, Tony Libretto, and I are going to be talking about just basically what can we anticipate leading into Thursday's events. We're going to break down the Lions, any news that pops up between now and then. So feel free to stop on down. Like we mentioned at the kickoff of this mock draft, I am going to have a Lions Talk Live first round show Thursday from 8 till whenever the first round gets over. The one thing I will preface is I've got an interview for a coaching position 7 o'clock that same evening. Couldn't get it earlier, unfortunately. I'm anticipating that's going to take about 45 minutes. Once that's done, get home, get on. So my guess is the first pick comes off the board right around 8:15. We should be on right then or slightly before. So apologies if we're not on right at 8 o'clock. All right, guys, any final thoughts before we end the show? And what do the Lions got to do this week, or anything you think they need to do leading into the draft?
No, I think they're set. Don't forget, Thursday night during the broadcast, I'll be live at the Ford Field party for the draft. So I'll try to get on, and you can see the crowd's reaction for each draft pick, maybe, or at least the Lions picks. I don't think they care about any of the other ones, right. But I'll be whooping it up with hopefully some Lions players there too. There's supposed to be some past ones and maybe some current ones there. So maybe we can get one of them on too.
Kip, are you going as well?
I will be there. Yep, I will.
Nice.
So yeah, I got a couple extra tickets, so bringing some friends with me. But yeah, we'll be there. So I'll probably be in Detroit around like 3:34. I guess there's a Tigers game that night, so I want to get there before they even start with the traffic. But yeah, so it's gonna be. But yes, I will be there.
Well, there you go. Lions Talk Live. We'll have two would-be reporters working the scenes at Ford Field, calling in with live reactions. So make sure you're tuning in for that. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this Sunday night, and we'll look forward to seeing you all Wednesday, the live broadcast. Take care, enjoy your day, and we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live.
Peace.
Peace out.